Man, oh man, here we go again. And we are back with some second channel action. Now, I told y'all this truck was gonna be able to haul a load. Look at that. 400 gallons of fancy water, just ready to be drank. So on this go around on the second channel, I have a feeling we need to mess with the go-karts. That's right. The old Yerfdogs. Them little bad mamma jammas with roll cages down there. When I bought them, they were in good shape. They both ran and drove. There's some improper hardware on it that has a little janky feeling, clink, clink. Definitely rattles and jingles as you drive them or whatever. That's not a big deal. We can probably fix that pretty easy. But each one of them has a little bit of a bigger problem now that we're gonna address. And speaking of address, I'm just gonna address this 67 Pontiac sitting behind me, because obviously y'all's gonna see it throughout the video. And let me think real quick. Monday, another GMC video. Thursday, this video. The following Monday, this video. Y'all will be seeing it on the main channel this upcoming Monday, I do believe. Super cool car. It's actually been in Slick's family for a while. And yeah, it's a good one, okay? Anyhow, we're not messing with it. I shouldn't have said nothing. Should have just let it sit back there and build this curiosity the whole time. But I also hope you guys are excited about that video. First time we work on a muscle car on the channel, I think, ever. All right, so here we got the Yerfdogs, and if we look them over real quick, you can see they got the Predator on them. That's the Harbor Freight engine. Well, 212cc. And here's a nice little kind of torque converter. That all looks pretty new. It's crazy how loose that is. Is that supposed to be that loose? Should you just be able to pull that belt off there? We may have to research that, because for some reason, I doubt it. That's just old slip fit. Don't worry about that. But that's fairly new looking. These front shocks, they look newer-ish. Had some new seat belts. And for me, I knew if I was going to be able to get the girls on it and mama be okay with it and everything, we needed roll cages, we needed seat belts. And I like these because both of them were two-seaters. So in my mind, like, me and Hot Rod could ride one together, and then the two older girls, or our middle and our oldest, they could ride one together, and we could just cruise around and have some fun with them. Overall, they're pretty good, like driver quality. They're not perfect, but they're like perfect for what I want to do, which is beat on them. We do got a kill switch. Of course, you got your gas and your brake pedal down there. I mean, pretty solid rigs, good tires on them all the way around. And as much as I like fixing junk, when I work on like stuff like this, like just crappy tires on it, I don't know why, but they just aggravate me on something like a go-kart. Now on cars, who cares? You know, we'll swap this, we'll swap that. On these, I'm like, please let me find one with a decent set of tires. And by golly, we got lucky and we did. What is that? We losing a, oh no, that's a piece of rock. I was like, we got tread coming off. Now this one over here, she was the, what the hell's that say? Craig Frodman, Yerfdog Racing, Dave Reed. I don't know what any of that means. But there's little stuff like jam nuts that are not jammed. There's our little tie rod kind of thingy that is slightly bent. You can see like this spindle has been repaired, and boogers are holding it together, but that's okay. It's holding so far. And just some of this stuff's kind of loose, like watch. So like our little pivot bolts right down here, and maybe they're supposed to have that much slop. They are painted red, so I don't know if they came like that. But having a proper size bolt in there, to me, sure would be better. So the girls, a couple times I got them on it, just those noises like that, they think it's about to break, and they don't realize it's not gonna break. But yeah, it's not fun to just hit a little freaking rock and hear the clang, clang, and everything else. And one of these roll cages had some custom repair fab work, I thought. Can't quite remember. Oh yeah. Yeah, so this roll cage has been worked on. It does appear. Our frame back there had to have a repair at some point. So I'm guessing this one had a decent hit at some point in its life. But none of that hindered you from driving these things. Me and Hot Rod had ripped them around at the old place in the backyard a couple times. since we moved out here, I decided one day to fire them up. I was gonna take Hot Rod for some riding around here. And this one, yeah, I don't know how, but I got to fire it up and it kind of stumbles to dun, 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 starts smoking like crazy. And then it shot milkshake out of the top side of the motor somewhere. I couldn't even tell where it was coming from. I just killed it. And I checked the oil on it, and that motor somehow sitting out here, and when it only got rained on like twice the whole time it was here, that motor's plumb full of water somehow. So we have that to investigate on that one. And then this one, when we were ripping around in the backyard at the old place, our sewer was 500 foot long there, and we had clean outs every 100 foot, and a Hot Rod was freaking flying, and she caught one of those clean outs with our front A-arm here. And I don't know how well the camera's going to pick it up. That one runs straight, then that one's coming back at an angle. It's bent to crap, and I can't tell if it's the arm actually tweaked. I don't know if where it mounts up in there is busted over or anything like that, but we got to straighten that out, because you cannot drive this one very well. With that being tweaked, turning is absolutely terrible. You can drive this one, I think, but you don't want to hardly turn it any. So it ain't a crazy amount of stuff we need to do, but we've had a couple days where I was like, boy, I wish I could fire up one of them and just rip it around right now. And that one's full of oil, and that one you can't steer. We've got all the other little stuff giving us fits and problems. Oh, let's check that other torque converter. Yeah, it don't come off as easy, but it's still, I still popped her off there, didn't I? So we'll have to do a little reading on that and see if we can't figure out if it's supposed to be like that, because I just don't know enough about them. I noticed that that is open, but I'm pretty sure I opened that the other day. So yeah, that's really good. That's what you want to see in your motor. And or that was somehow left open, or it vibrated open, and no, I didn't check that one down there. I guarantee it's too hard to get to. So I think I left that open the other day. I still do not know how water got in this one. Now, I have a theory, though. One theory. Hot Rod has been pretty well terrified of these things since she had her incident. She almost flipped it. It didn't flip. She was going too fast on it, and I told her she needs to slow down. So I thought it was good at first, because I thought it was going to scare her and make her slow down some. But it scared her so bad she just don't want to get on them anymore. But yeah, she was getting after it that day. So I think this one scared her, so she just sabotaged that one. She just put water in the motor when Dad wasn't looking. And apparently the throttle sticks a little on that one. So now with a little weight on here, look at that one straight. And look at that sucker there. It's almost matching the angle of a roll cage. And sure enough, this thing has a sticking throttle, which I've never had on it before that I know of. And I guess that's just our spring down there. So I reckon we'll start with trying to get this front situated some. That bolt just looks hammered. Yeah, apparently we may need a bearing or bushing or something, because that wheel sure has got a lot of slop in it. That is all slop in this. So where's my Yerfdog experts? What'd they do? Just put incorrect hardware and bushings and all this stuff, or did I just buy some turds? Little slop in there. Got all kinds of nice spacers. I'm assuming that's because the bearing's out there riding on the threads, so is that our slop? And we gotta have that spacered over to clearance our spindle here, even though we could tighten up that gap a little bit. 1/8 inch. 1/16. So it ain't a whole lot better, but we actually got a little bit better clearance if we would turn this towards the inside. Hey, clearance is clearance, Clarence. We got a good set of the Wandas on here. So what if we took off that set of washers, flip valve stem in, and put that on? What's that look like? Should have plenty clearance. We're definitely gonna get a couple more threads over here because that nut was basically flush. I think we'll end up doing that when we go back together. Huh, I guess that's just a bolt that hangs out there, huh? Why is there that much slop? Slop, slop, slop. Get our little tie rod off. Pull the spindle. The slop is in that down there. I mean, that down there is really, you know, worn out, I guess. And there's a little bit in this. The problem is, we don't really got a way to step up to a bigger size. I mean, it's just a little loose, but a little loose here, a little loose there, a little loose there. It all adds up to being clanky. Majority of that is this bottom one. So we're gonna try to tune it up some. Maybe we'll try to weld it and then drill it or something, who knows? That bolt's loose. That's a good sign. Oh boy. Oh boy. Holy cow! Ha-ha! Oh man, it's always something. The nut's spinning. I think that's gonna help us with that stuck bolt, but it's something. Whew! Man, that's being a little stubborn. Went ahead and stripped this side down too. Now you can see how those control arms are hanging at different angles. This bolt is stuck as well. So I sprayed her with some looby dooby. I'm assuming it's just rested to the control arm in there, but I don't know. If our little pry bar here ain't gonna take that out, I don't know what is. So that one has slop in it. Just assuming all this crap had slop in it, unless this is just this worn out, I guess. This one's got even more slop in it. But if we can't get them bolts out without cutting the head and cutting the back and trying to drive it out, and then what if it gets stuck and we can't drive it out? What can we do to bend this straight or try to, oh, it may be tweaked like this as well. Yep, it definitely is. This whole thing's rolled back. That's another problem. Boy howdy. Just drop that little light jack on your thigh. It'll feel real good. What am I doing today? I don't know if y'all can tell, but I do not enjoy working on stuff like this. Give me an old car to tear apart. You know, it could be 4 hours. I don't care how many hours in a day, and I have fun. Something stupid like this, it should be easy. And it never is. Trying to bend that straight. How's it going, you ask? We've had better days around here. I don't know how that thing got so bent, and what I mean by that is obviously it is. Now I don't think our mount side tweaked at all, so that should mean that we should see that A-arm crumpled somewhere, all the material, because if you bend it back like that, that stuff on the back side, it's got to collapse to bend backwards. The material has to go somewhere, and I don't know. It ain't collapsed nowhere. If all else fails, beat it with a hammer. Yeah, I can see where the bend is now. I don't think you can get it with a hammer. Get it with a little heat. That way we can heat them up and maybe they'll cool off quick. We'll get them brittle where they're just ready to snap. I don't think it moved a bit. Ah, maybe a little bit now. 3 9/16. Right at 3 inches. We still got a lot more to go. About 3 1/4. There we go. Boy, this thing's looking rough. Heated up down there and hammering on it out here, so this is nice and flattened now. And our bracket is not in the best of shape, but as far as getting this out, pretty even with that one, it's there. And what I don't know about is the angle of this. That one says 21.3. This one says 27.1. So yeah, this whole thing needs to kind of twist down. We hold that there, put that there. Yeah. Can we twist down? That's the question. I need someone to sit on this, help shove it down where I can shove on this. Yeah. 24.8, that's closer. Twist you. Ugh. Kept that word to myself. 25.9. Somehow we went backwards. Yeah. 22 on the dot. And now this one's saying 20 degrees. 19.9. 19.98. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 19.6 or so. With them angles matching that, our only other distance we could worry about is from there straight back. We're gonna say 5 3/8, 5 9/16. So that whole side is still too high up like that. It's curled up too much. Well, here's the deal. I'm supposed to be meeting my concrete guy over at the Taco Boy to get a burrito, because afterwards we're gonna go cut my handprints off the pad behind the shop. So we gotta get out of here. If we get back, we'll figure out the rest of this. Whew, that Taco Boy will get you if you ain't careful. Got a full belly now. About a month ago, drove by the old place here, and I guess, I don't know if some young teenager thought they needed to swing from my flagpole, or if someone wanted to take Old Glory down that bad. But they obviously got me pretty good here, didn't they? Dang camera died, of course, but long story short, they tore up my damn pole over there. And yeah, that saw he has, I'm a dummy. It's got a set of wheels on it, and you got to be able to roll to cut. It's not like a quickie saw, so we weren't able to cut the concrete. At least, hey, porch is tore up. Concrete is still there, but at least we got some Taco Boy. Hey, that did it there. 5 13/16. 5 13/16. Close enough. 4 1/4. 4 5/16 within a 16th. 20.3, 20 on the dot. It may be ugly, it may be weak, it may be tweaked in all kinds of places, but by golly, it's back kind of where it needs to be, I think. I slapped her nuts back on, and guys, this is just gonna have to stay wiggly. I think the only way we get that bolt out of there is cutting it, and that wasn't my intention. If we're gonna do that and fight all that, we might as well get a better control arm for the thing. So at this point, you know, I want it less clanky for the girls, but they already said they're not gonna ride them, so that's cool. The good news is, I know someone who will ride them with me, and that's Slick. Me and him will race them, and a little clacking. That's part of a go-kart, I reckon. So anyhow, I didn't even expect it to take this long to get to this point. I don't know if our spindle's bent any. It don't look like it. Oh yeah, maybe a little bit. Well, that one's at an angle too, so maybe it's supposed to be like that. So here I was gonna be Mr. Hero and fix all these little noises on it, but instead, I just want to get it back together. Our bracket got a little bent there, I'm not sure how. Yeah, I'm not sure at all how that got bent. That'll just add to our clinking and our clacking. I got a new motto. If it clanks, let it clank. It's the little things in life. Build a whole chassis, no problem. Want me to put some proper hardware on a go-kart frame? Not happening. Better find someone with the patience for it. Good enough. I think we're still gonna do this thing a lot of good just by pulling that apart, tweaking that arm back, and then we're gonna adjust on the steering, and this bolt is really loose. That makes it super sloppy. So yeah, that's no good. I think we'll at least get it where this rig's drivable anyhow. Just all the stuff having a little torque on it, not crazy amount, but just everything being a little tighter already has it actually feeling better, which is nice. Now, let's see if we can kind of figure out the steering. About right in there, looks pretty perpendicular. I'm kind of looking to our frame here. About right in there. And this side, that looks too far forward. So we need to tighten up one of these. Steering wheel's favoring left. Of course, all that slop's in there. Let's tighten that up, and then we'll check it actually. Because like I said, that right there is definitely no good. Now they don't have a jam nut, that's good. Back that off. Then in theory, you should be able to spin this, but that's bent and them threads are looking like crap. A little help from the locking pliers and we can spin it. And definitely just eagle-eyed that, but I guarantee you it is better than it was. Apparently that jam nut don't jam. Awesome. So that side don't jam and that side free spins because it don't jam, then that thing can just spin as you go. 2 washers off the inside, putting it back on. I'm gonna take, instead of moving both to the outside, I'm only gonna move one, and then our lock nut. It's actually gonna give us more threads for holding this on because they were kind of flush. Hey-yo! That looks a heck of a lot better than it did. I think we actually did pretty good on straightening out that control arm. Of course, as you put weight on it, it's gonna change some. And to me, the tires both actually still look pinched in a little bit. So I think we need to spread them out just a hair. As far as our torque converter, I looked up a couple videos, never seen where anyone full said, but I seen a video where someone was showing how to adjust it. And well, they just, or not adjust it, how to change out the belt, and they couldn't change theirs by just slipping on and off. Now the kicker about this is this plate that mounts our little kind of jack shaft here. Looks like it actually goes underneath the engine, but all this is kind of slotted. So I think if we loosened all that, we could kind of pry in between the two and shove the engine forward some and this back some, or at least the engine forward some. We can't move it too much because we can't end up with too much. We can't tighten up our chain too much neither. We got to be aware of that. It's most certainly not too tight right now. I don't really know what I'm doing, so we're just gonna try it. So we've been doing all morning anyhow, is just trying stuff. Some of that loosened, I think. I don't know how much we loosened it. I feel like the motor needs to go forward. A little problem. I loosened off all them bolts. You can move everything as an assembly, but you can't separate and move that, say, rear and the engine forward. So I'm assuming that underneath there where the bolts drop through the motor and that, obviously this bracket is not adjustable. So if you shove that motor forward, it's just gonna follow it with it. That just seems too sloppy to me, for crying out loud. But then again, I don't know what I'm doing. The good thing is, I guarantee you, there's someone watching this video with a lot more experience than me, who probably gives a little more damn than me to figure it out, and will be able to tell us what our problem is, or if it is even a problem. Now, I don't feel like it's sticking. Hey, I know what we can do to make it better. Like when you're a little kid and your dad hit your chain on your bicycle with some WD-40, we're just gonna lubricate that, and now that's like picking up 20 horsepower. No, that was definitely still sticking. What if we spin on that? Because that looks like the little lever that rides on. Of course, the slack of this cable is hitting over here, which ain't gonna help us none neither. So we can trim that down. The whole spring setup's just kind of janky. There's a long spring that goes off of this. This is off of that. I don't care for none of it. This thing's pretty picky because I took this spring and I hooked it on there. I pulled it back really hard, and that was not enough to make it happy. We're gonna modify this a little bit and try it anyhow. Well, my spring seems to be helping. We need to get more. Oh, I may have more springs actually. Hold on. I was gonna say we need to get some better ones than that old rusty one. Hey-o, what do we have here? We're about to just rig up a better spring on this thing and go see how she drives and have some fun. Because I thought I was gonna have fun, and then I'm not, okay? I'm not afraid to admit it, but this thing has me a little frustrated. And you just want to take a good piece of tie wire there. I'm gonna hook my spring back over on that side. Then we'll pull her across the motor like that. And we'll go right through this end with our tie wire. And that right there is a professional install. At least that spring's new and don't look like it's about to break. And how come this is doing this, huh? Gosh darn it. Sure rolls a lot better. Rolls pretty straight too. That stuff was so wompy jawed before, it was hard just to shove that thing around. Bridle's not sticking anymore. Woo! Woo! She is definitely driving a lot better. And I don't know if I don't know if something adjusted back there, but it sure felt like it was giving it more power. Oh yeah, I forgot to put lubie on the chain. That's the secret. Hey, that little booger was ripping. When I went down there, it was freaking flinging the rocks, all right? That's a Fast and the Furious Pot County drift. I don't know why Hot Rod and the girls are scared to drive these things. Don't make no sense to me. I'm having fun. So I did notice something else that I've seemed to have known, or I remember now, I'd kind of forgot, to be honest. When you cut real hard, these tires are probably too big for this, and they actually get into the frame going that way, catches up. Now this side, there's actually a hole there, so it actually does good to do some type of clearancing on that. Just need to take the corners off of that. I forgot it's a high performance drift rig, you know what I mean? That we gotta have that side to side turning where we can keep those things plumb sideways or whatever. That way if slick ones come over and have a drift off around the old mount out front, old Mount Rockmore around the junkyard there, I can get that one plumb sideways to whip them. What if we cut that piece in half? That's 1/2 inch thick. That should be nice and strong. And we just lop those corners off and put some of that on there instead. I like it. That right in there. That's a little more than half, so we'll just split it in half and make it work. We got 6 3/4. We'll go 3 3/8. You know that rubbing when you're just driving and you don't think about it and you cut hard and that's going up and down and it's got that little play in it as that tire shoves into that frame. That's definitely gonna help tweak on everything and wear everything out that much faster. So we're probably doing this a lot of good by doing this. I need an extension cord. This, I'm just gonna hold up in place here where I get it where I want it. Gonna mark that out on the back side. And I'm just gonna cut that sucker straight down through there like that. Somehow, I don't know how I'm gonna cut it, but we're gonna cut it. There she is, hot potato, hot potato. All right, our corner's missing. Definitely have a little more clearance than we used to. And I think we'll be all right with that piece in there. Cleaned our metal up a little bit. Let's get this baby set up and ready to weld. Definitely need to order a new liner for the welder. This rig's pretty old and they changed up the Miller-Matic to 11 since then, so I don't know if I order one now if it's gonna work for this thing or if it's gonna be different. Welder's welding like hell. Just prop on up and we can weld the bottom side real quick. Bottom side welded better than the top side. Yes, she's welding. Yep. You gotta be kidding me. That's still rubbing. Smoking the tire. Well, I'll be damned. I'm gonna grind that thick old 1/2 inch plate. Kind of put a curve on it so as it does catch it, it ain't just a sharp corner. See right there, we got a good clearance, about 1/4 inch. If I shove that back, because that's wiggly, we still got a gap between there. A little more than 1/16 of an inch. Of course, all of our wiggling pieces there don't help us none. But I do believe that's gonna clear now. Oh! She's clearing. I was just ripping this thing through the neighborhood, plumb flying. These things are fast. Honestly, even to get, like I'd trust the older two, but Hot Rod would have to govern one of these things down if I was gonna let her drive it again. Man, they'll get after it on some pavement. So this one, I'm happy with. No more than what we did. And I know that still kind of clanks back there because of them bigger bolts. But the front end obviously feels a heck of a lot better Super easy to drive now. No complaints on this one. Didn't really do what all I wanted to do, but at the same time, like I said, I think we'll be all right. Now this one, the steering on it, of course that one is whoopie dude. We could maybe adjust on that, and we may check on that. But the main thing on that, I don't know how many times I'm gonna say it. The main thing is this whole water in the oil situation. Still clueless of how it happened. Yeah! Guys, upside down. Ugh. This hill's a mean one, I'll tell you that much. In your nose, out your mouth, as I breathe in through my mouth. All right, what do we have here? Is that the drain on the back? That's impossible to get to. Is there a drain on the front? Yes, dang sure is. Oh boy, I guess I just realized I don't even know what oil you put in one of these. Oh man, that's a lot of water. That is a lot of water. I don't know if there's any oil in the motor. Where did all that water come from? Still going, still going. Hey, there's a little sign of a poop particle or two of oil. Nice little white hucky puck paste that's now guaranteed to be in our motor. So I'm kind of trying to look here and understand where our water came from. And I noticed this little tube right here is supposed to shove into there. And I don't know if I knocked it out of there or if it was already out of there. But y'all seen how much water come out of here, and I just find it hard to believe in one rain we could get that much water pinpointed to this little hole. Yeah, it was just like that. So that definitely was not solid in there. Shove that back in. So that was definitely out. Pop that back on. Checked our tank. Got plenty of good gas in there. No surprises in there. Wanted to check our little breather. I don't know what I expected to find, but I didn't find nothing, which is a good thing. I didn't really expect to find nothing. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't somehow full of water, which I didn't really think it would be. So unless it all magically got in there, the only other place I can think it could get through somehow would be exhaust. I guess if you took a water hose right up to it or something. I don't know, guys. This may be the great mystery of the year here. I don't know how much sludge we still got in this old motor now. If we blow some air in there, think we'll shove some hucky puck out. I don't know. We may just make a mess. Now I read on the internet just regular old 10W30 and about a half a quart's worth is what we need. And you know, that tube was off there, but when that thing, the day I started it and realized something was wrong, it started knocking to tank to tank to tank. First it was smoking like crazy. Then, for a few seconds, then it started kind of knocking to tank. And then, like I said, it started shooting milkshake all over the engine. So I'm guessing that pressured up. And then that may have shoved that tube out of there. And we did not get hardly any oil out of that. I am at an absolute loss. Craziest, most confusing thing that I don't understand, and I don't know how long. Last time we'd used it, everything a-okay. Guess we ain't meant to know everything. I said half a quart. I've got an empty transmission little quart jug thing here. So we're gonna fill her up about halfway. It'll be a little easier to work with this than that big old jug. Probably want to give her some fresh oil and see if she wants to run, and then we may want to drain it out again and do another half quart worth of oil change on it. I don't know. Oh yeah, I was right at the perfect amount. Just starting to come out of them threads. Seal her back up here. And tell y'all, but after it puked that stuff out of the motor, of course, I don't remember if it died or I got it killed. But I did hear a little to tank rod knock for a minute. Not for a minute, for a couple seconds before it died. So let's see what this motor's sounding like. Maybe good, maybe bad. Can't tell if this is that kind of clinking noise. And why'd she die? Just a little cold-natured? I think she's gonna be all right. Now this one, I do think we need to adjust our tie rods because of that bent one. It's bent and it shortened it. But as far as our turning goes, I think we have smaller tires on this one, so you can see on it, we're not even close to our frame. This one drives pretty good. Now notice on it, they've got the shocks up on this bolt. And it actually rides a little bouncier. Also, that's gonna give us a little more clearance away from that, wouldn't it? Maybe. That kind of depends, actually. I don't know. Y'all think we ought to drain it and change it again? I mean, it's just another half quart of oil. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. A milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. And they're like, it's better than y'all's, damn right. It's better than y'all's, I could eat you, but I'd have to charge. Yeah, probably a good thing we went ahead and drained that sucker again. Now, up here, what do we got going on? Just a few left taps will help straighten that out. It wasn't much, but tapping that, push that one out just a little bit it needed. Actually pretty happy with how that looks right there. Now, I can tell you one thing. This one, if this one wants to race that one, it better pack a lunch, because this one don't get after it like that one does. Like, this one ain't bad, but that thing over there gets buck nasty. Well, finished up our oil change there. That stuff was milky, but at least it was oil. And I'll probably run this thing hard at some point. I think I'm gonna go take her for a rip here in a second, but to park it. But next time we do more than just pull it down there to park it, it may not hurt to change it one more time. I don't know. I ain't never had a small engine full of water before. That was a first for me. I'm not sure what all I wanted to get done today. I felt like I was gonna get more done than that, but I just kind of realized on some of them little clanking bolts and stuff, it's really not that big of a deal. Because like I said, yeah, I think some of the noise is why my girls are scared of them, but I think even if I fixed every little thing, they're not gonna ride them. I thought they were gonna be super excited. I surprised them with them, and you know, I just got girls. I ain't got tomboys for girls. The older they get, the more they're girly. Same with little hot rod, and that's okay. I don't want them to be what they're not. I just thought they would be a little excited about these things, and I think we fix all that and it ain't gonna make a difference. So basically what it comes down to, is it gonna bother me or my friends to hear a little clanking and janking? And the answer is no, because I think we're gonna be the only ones to ride them. That one's been a pain in the butt, the one we worked on first, for a while, even before the bent control arm, because of those tires getting into the frame and all that. So I'm glad we got that lined out. And the steering on that one, even before it was bent, that one was always aligned bad, so it always it wasn't the best anyhow. Both of them now are ready for rips, which is a good thing, because like I said, me and Slick get bored around here, and we may just have to take them for a little hot lap. Now, as far as me, I was kind of upset with my progress earlier and realizing, anyhow, I'm not upset because I'm realizing that probably happened for a reason. Yeah, I thought this was kind of cool. Look, of course I eagle-eyed where I cut them. I picked up them two scrap pieces, and I mean, that is just like stinking identical. We could weld that baby up and have a miniature gas tank or something. But the last few weeks, last month, since we've been back on vehicles, since we started back on the wagon, then to the S10, then to the GMC, it's been carrying my working into the weekends. And yeah, I've been in trouble by Hot Rod because we ain't got to play a lot. And we are Friday at like 3:30, and I have content for the main channel, and I have content for the second channel wrapped up. I've not been this early in forever, And what that means is I can have a weekend without having to worry about spending half Saturday out here still working or something like that. So what I'm saying is, I'm gonna go take this baby for a hot lap real quick, park it, and then Dad is gonna call her a day and go in to have a weekend to play. So I appreciate y'all watching. I know I wasn't as energetic this video. I don't know, it's just kind of, maybe the change in the weather put me in a little crummy mood or something. And nonetheless, I appreciate y'all being here, coming back time and time again. And what else? I don't know. Puddin'sfabshop.com for that good quality merchandise. Excuse me, that taco boy just got me. Little burp action. We appreciate all the support there on the merchandise. I'm on the Patreon. I'm on the, I almost said TikTok, and I'm not on the TikTok, I think. Yeah, I am not. I'm on, what am I on? Instagram, Patreon, Facebooker, and I'm out of here. That's what I can't think no more, so I'm gonna quit talking. Do not forget, guys, sitting on your ass, don't finish your project. Even if it's a simple project, just like straightening out one control arm so you can ride your go-kart, all right? Gotta get after it sometimes. Hot damn, there's so much BS-ery, we had to start a whole channel for all the extras. Be sure to go check out Puddin's Fab Shop if you ain't seen that baby yet. Come on!